Well, Prime Minister Mark Carney will be calling a federal election today, 6 months ahead of the fixed date. Canadians are expected to head to the polls on Monday, April 28th. That will mean a 5-week campaign, the shortest possible period under Canadian law. Carney is expected to visit Governor General Mary Simon at midday to ask her to issue the writs of election. The newly named Prime Minister will be running in the Ottawa riding of Nepean. In a post on social media, he says he is honored to be running in the community of Nepean, adding that the next election will be one of the most consequential in our lifetimes. And let's bring in our CTV News political commentator, Scott Reid. Scott, thanks for joining us early on a Sunday.
Well, maybe Sunday, but it is not going to be a day of rest.
No, it is going to be a busy day. Everything's starting to move here. Let's talk about Carney wanting to run in Nepean. We talked Ottawa as a possibility. Are you surprised at this one?
No, I think he was looking at three possibilities. Downtown Toronto riding, that would be safe as houses. Edmonton, which would not be safe. That would be a real catfight, especially if this thing is as close as it looks like it may be. And then Ottawa, which seems safer, although Nepean is no absolute lock. They've held it for 10 years. But it's competitive territory. It's a sister riding to Pierre Poilievre's, the leader of the Conservative Party. So it'll be fun to watch.
How does he run? He needs to be elected. Will he spend a lot of time in Nepean? Or how does he try and balance between running across the country and visiting different places and also trying to get elected in Nepean?
Yeah, it's very tough when you're a party leader. And if you've ever worked for a party leader or a prime minister as a staffer, you get used to them saying to you, like, I got to get back to the riding. Like, we can't just take this for granted. The truth is you kind of have to take it for granted. You have to assume that voters recognize you're a national leader, in his case, the prime minister. And you have to assume that if you run a strong national campaign, winning everywhere, then you'll win at home. And that's not always a lock. I can remember in 1993, Jean Chrétien looked poised to win, but the polls also showed that he would lose in his home riding of Shawinigan. He didn't. He stuck with it, but he didn't get to visit Shawinigan a lot. So name familiarity and your position as prime minister will carry you, and it's going to have to carry you.
Okay, what can we expect today once the visit to the Governor General?
Well, you'll get the visit, then you're going to get a news conference from Prime Minister Carney, and in that news conference, he'll really try to frame the issue set for the election. I mean, this early day or two, you want to do two things if you're running a national campaign, whether you're the Liberal leader and prime minister or whether you're Mr. Poilievre. One, you want to try and demonstrate energy and enthusiasm. So you want to see a couple of rallies. You want to see energy and excitement. Second, you want to frame the election. What is this choice all about? And you want to position that toward your strengths. So Mr. Carney, you can expect to hear, will be talking about the critical high-stakes choice we face in terms of taking on Donald Trump and tariffs. He'll position himself as the leader best able to do that, and that is what he hopes the ballot question will be.
And what about Poilievre? How does he stake his claim here?
Well, this is where it gets trickier. So he obviously cannot ignore the issue of Trump and tariffs. It hovers over everything. But he wants to make it as much a referendum on long Liberal government. So he wants to talk about this is time for a change. Cost of living issues continue to pound people. It's all fine for the fancy banker to come in here and Mark Carney the last second. But these Liberals are seeking a fourth consecutive mandate. Give them the boot. If you want change, you got to vote for change all the way down the road. Switch parties, not just leaders. So that will be their argument. And I think we're going to see what really sets up to be like a historic, and I genuinely mean, given all that's at stake right now, a historic political battle between these two men who now suddenly appear to be tied as they try to fight over what this election will be.
All right, it is going to be a horse race. Scott, thanks as always.